cake will there. Your host I am, Robert Lamb. That's the best I got. My name's Robert Lamb. With me, as always, Amber Simpson, and this is Will There Be Cake?
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, Amber Simpson.
Hey, Robert Lamb.
But today we got a very special guest joining us, Derik Schroeppel. Did I pronounce that right?
You got it right on the dot there. That's
Damn.
awesome.
Yeah. You know why, though? Because you told me that like a year ago. You like recorded it for me because I think you were voicing a character in Cop Doctors, and then I was like, I don't know how to pronounce this, so you like sent me a recording of how to pronounce it.
And I think I also did that. I did a recording. What was the other one? It wasn't Cop Doctors. It was the noir comedy.
Oh, Doppel from back in the day.
The first one?
The original Doppel.
Oh, okay.
I remade that as Atlas Avenue Beat. That's what it is now. Since everybody dropped out of that one.
Is his voice still in it? Or you?
I don't remember. I don't remember what character you played. Maybe.
I did a character where I think I was a cook, and I was like, name a popular garnish, and the guy said, I don't know, a leaf. Like,
yeah, I like that part.
I got a good trip recording that. That was a lot of fun.
Yeah, I do. Yeah, I do remember. I think you just recorded for Cop Doctors more recently then.
Yeah.
Because that's when I was like, I didn't know how to pronounce your name. I didn't have to do the credits before on Doppel, so somebody else took care of your name then.
Nice.
But anyways, thanks for joining us for, what day is it, Amber Simpson?
It is, if you could not tell by that awful intro, Talk Like Yoda Day. Which isn't as easy as it seems, really.
I used to be pretty good at the voice, but I haven't done it in like decades.
I'm
so
not
I
even
was
going
like,
to try.
I can't do
embarrass myself.
Do it.
No.
Try it one time. Say like, what's the date?
You want me to say literally what's the date?
No, say like.
Do or do not.
Yeah.
Let us not try.
See?
Yeah,
There you go.
That's great.
Yeah, just do a quote from Star Wars, like Derik.
No, I'm not doing it. I can't do it. I'm not doing it.
Yes.
That's the best I got.
I can do.
All right, that's good.
That's all you get.
What is it?
Fear leads to hate. Hate leads to anger. Anger leads to suffering.
He's the pro at it.
Yeah, see? This is why he wanted to be on the day.
Yep.
Show off his skills.
Watched a lot of Star Wars over the course of my life, and now that they're on Disney Plus, I think I've already watched each movie 10 times.
Holy shit! I just started rewatching them.
It is one of the greatest movie franchises I think that's ever been made,
It is.
Part of that is the allure of Mr. Swamp on a planet called Dagobah.
Yoda.
Dagobah. That's the Weird Al Yoda.
Yeah,
He does the spoof or whatever.
Down in Dagobah, where it bubbles all the time like a giant carbonated soda.
S-O-D-A, soda. Yeah, that's a
I
good
can
one.
sing that whole song because I've also listened to a lot of Weird Al in my life. If you were to segment my childhood, it was Weird Al Yankovic and Star Wars.
Oh, shit.
Nice.
So then this is like the perfect. We actually did a Star Wars day not too long ago, right?
Yeah.
Today's
It was
the
an
May 21st, so it's May the 5th.
Oh yeah. Of course. We did.
May,
Star
of
Wars.
course. Or May the 4th. Sorry, not the 5th. May the 5th be with you. That's Revenge of the 5th.
Yeah.
Cinco de Star Wars.
yeah, that's what we celebrated. Makes sense.
Oh, no.
Yeah, May the 4th. Well, next year we'll have to have you on Star Wars Day if we celebrate it again.
I would love to because, like I said, one of the greatest, I think, film franchises that's ever been made.
I agree.
Is Yoda like one of your favorite characters?
Ooh. I mean, I loved Luke because he was pretty much everything. He was an awesome pilot. He was a warrior. But, yeah, Yoda was the cute little character that
Talked real funny and made his sentences weird, did he?
And, yeah, I love that. And, I listened to this podcast. It's called Wizard and the Bruiser. And they did some deep dives into Star Wars. And originally the plan for Yoda was to be played by a monkey.
Oh my god!
Which then we wouldn't get something like Yoda Day, and
yeah,
Yoda Day we would get not be able to talk like this. We would.
We'd have to be ooh ah ah. That's what it would be.
We'd be doing that and throwing turds at people. I guess I don't know.
I bet you there's a monkey holiday out there somewhere.
There probably is.
We haven't celebrated it yet, but it might be out there.
I think everybody knows who, even if you're not a Star Wars fan or you haven't even seen any Star Wars, like Yoda's one of the main characters that people recognize and like, yeah, that's Star
and
Wars.
actually do like mimic and stuff. Like
Right.
Darth Vader's a big one because everybody loves doing the
Yeah.
like Luke, I am your father. Even
Yeah.
though he doesn't say Luke, I am your father. He says, no, I am your father.
And right as of right now, this year, end of last year, that was only increased by The Mandalorian and
Right.
Baby Yoda.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Kids are going crazy like, Baby Yoda, why is he Baby Yoda? And then they're looking up Yoda and they
Get to find the funny little creature that tricked Luke into thinking he wasn't a great Jedi champion.
But isn't he like also not technically a baby Yoda? He's
Yeah,
just a
it's
baby,
not
whatever the
Yoda.
species is.
Yeah, because the timeline
Right.
doesn't work out.
Yeah. But there's no like no one knows what the species is or
Correct.
called,
I
right?
mean, I think we're like, this is like Mandalorian's probably going to be the most we learn about like where he comes from or
I'm sure it'll
what
get to that point because
species,
wasn't
yeah.
the end of Mandalorian they were talking about going to where he came from, or
right. And then I
something?
heard like rumors that there might be more of the species in the future seasons or whatever.
There's got to be somebody had to have sex with another one of them
I
to
just
have a baby. So,
if you go into the expanded universe into something like Knights of the Old Republic 1 and 2, there's a Yoda-like creature in it that I want to say is female too. So they're out there.
wasn't there one in episode 1?
Mm,
I thought there was one on the Jedi Council that was similar to Yoda, but I could be wrong. That was a female one. I thought somebody brought that up like not too long ago, but I could be wrong.
You sound right.
I don't remember. Like I think they had a name for her, but I don't remember what it was. I'll try to look it up while we continue to talk.
There is so much Star Wars lore out there
yeah, it's
beyond
crazy.
the movies.
Because there's the books. The books go so
Yeah,
far.
but I thought they dropped all that with the new Disney movies.
I mean,
They
it's
got rid
still-
of the expanded universe.
I mean, it still exists. They can't.
I mean, I
Disney,
know.
fuck Disney. They
No,
can't just be
they're-
like, it doesn't exist.
They're like the Nazis. They're just burning all the old books. Like no one will learn of the expanded universe.
Yeah, but it's actually I remember at one of my old jobs when I had to sit at a desk and really do nothing all day. I started doing deep dives into Star Wars lore, and like 6 hours later, I'm like, oh, I can go home now. All right, see ya later.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, there's
Yeah.
a lot. I haven't read any of the books, but our friend Ricky used to read all of them, and there's a lot.
There's a ton. Okay, so
Yeah.
there's one. It says Yaddle, a force-sensitive female being of the same species as Grandmaster Yoda, was a Jedi Master on the
Okay.
Council.
That
I think she was in Phantom Menace. I think you see like one screenshot of her as it's like panning around the room or something.
Yeah, it does. And the only other thing I can remember from the Jedi Council, other than the big named ones, was there's a one Jedi Master that had this like extremely long neck, and I thought he really looked cool too.
Yeah, I just always wondered how they like fight though. Like, how does that dude fight with this long ass neck?
Yeah, that's the easy decap, right?
Yeah, just cut right through it like real fast. I don't know. I want to see him like jumping around doing the flips and shit that they always do.
Yeah, the fight scene in episode 2. Like episode 2 wasn't my favorite.
Yeah,
of
it's
the
not that great.
series.
Yeah.
Nope.
Near the end of that and seeing what actually Yoda could do with a lightsaber, I was like, oh wow, this little dude is
He's a
doing
badass.
capoeira.
I know he's like doing all little flips around Count Dooku.
Mm-hmm.
He was fighting like DJ in Street Fighter, dance fighting, and it was awesome.
But I love like right after the fight, he like bends over, like gets his cane, and then just starts to like waddle out again, like he's all old again. like it took so much out of him to do that.
Right, yeah, and that's the power of the Force, baby.
Yeah.
Power of the Force. So
But,
Yoda speaks in a very peculiar way, obviously. It's
Right.
similar to English, except the sentence structure follows the order of object, subject, verb, instead of how we normally speak subject, verb, object.
So when I said be cake will there, does that count?
I don't know. Objects,
like a-
yeah.
I mean, I
cake,
think so.
subject.
Will there? I don't know because he's asking a question.
So there's actually a website called Yoda. It's yodaspeak.co.uk, and you can input a sentence, and it'll like produce the way to say it in Yodish.
What is it? Yoda speak?
Yodaspeak.co.uk. The only thing is like, I mean, in the movies he speaks in kind of short sentences, so if you're trying to put in like a long sentence, it's going to come out kind of wonky. And I tried a few sentences, and it did do that. So
Yeah, that makes sense.
So short sentences, if you. But
if
I
you
mean,
if you can.
it's kind of self-explanatory. Object, subject, verb.
Yeah, I'm trying to look it up.
Like a steak for dinner, I would. Yes.
See?
Yeah.
And then he says yes at the end. Yes.
Yes.
That's what I want.
What was it?
When you are 500 years old, this good I hope you look. Hmm?
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yep.
That was Empire. Or no, Return of the Jedi.
Yeah, because that was right before he got on his little deathbed, right?
Yep. Before he became one with the Force, and we all cried because, oh, cute little low Yoda is gone.
I always liked him in Empire Strikes Back because he's just like banging on R2D2 and like he acts like he acts almost like a senile old man.
Yeah.
like he's like almost like crazy. Whereas like if you watch him in like the earlier films, he's actually like, I mean, he's always been really smart and stuff, but he just seems so senile. Like in Episode 5 when they first meet him, he's just like going through Luke's stuff and like throwing things around and like, come on, old man, be nice.
Well, and he's trying to explain to Luke without actually explaining it to it that with the Force all things are possible and looks can be deceiving.
That's true. That makes sense. Hold on.
Makes sense.
I'm gonna see. Will there be cake?
I did that.
You did that one already?
Yeah, it comes out real weird.
All right, here's a good one.
To Atlas Avenue Beat, go listen.
there it is. That's a good one. There be cake, Will. I don't like that.
Yeah, see?
This doesn't work.
It doesn't work. That's what I'm saying.
That's what I think.
Even when you put it in quotes, like it's a title, it does it weird.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I'm not good with the voice. I don't have like that guttural throat thing. I used to be able to do it, but I guess I lost it with age.
You need to watch more Star Wars.
I need to practice more. That's what it is. I used to be able to do Christopher Walken. Can't do that anymore either.
Wow.
I can do Goldblum. That's about it. And that's only life finds a way.
I built you a town. Why are we fighting?
Yeah.
I can't. Christopher Walken's a hard one to pull off.
That's a really hard one to pull off.
You remember that music video he was in, Weapon of Choice? That's one of the creepiest videos to me I think I've ever seen.
Oh, I love that video when he's like just dancing around the hotel.
Seeing Christopher Walken dance like that's nightmarish to me.
Walk without rhythm and you won't attract the worm. That's such a good song too. I don't know why they have to reference Dune, but that's cool.
Happens to everybody. Wait. Happens to every guy sometimes this does.
Ah, she's looking up actual like different quotes that people already had.
Yeah.
Let's see. Let's just look up Yoda quotes.
Do this one.
You must unlearn what you have learned.
I'm
Is
trying
that
to
a real
say-
quote?
No, this
Yeah,
isn't real.
Yes, it is.
Oh yeah, yours is a real quote, but the one I'm reading this is not a real one. It says,
Foreplay, cuddling. A Jedi craves not these things.
"There's no way that's real." I don't think he says that.
The greatest teacher of failure is...
It's got an interesting thing that they came up with. Like that's the way he talks. Can you do a Chewie? Yeah, that's I yeah.
Like I said, watched a lot of Star Wars.
Star Wars. I know. I used to be huge into Star Wars. I haven't been like a big fan of the newer ones.
Yeah.
But I still like obviously the original trilogy, and I still have a soft spot for like the prequels, even though I'm not a huge fan of the second one. But I don't hate the first one as a lot of people do, and I like the third one. It's just the newer ones I'm kind of like hit or miss. There's some things I really like about them and some things I really don't.
Well, it's a kind of like a double-edged sword, I would say, with it. Everyone complained after episode, what was it, 5, 6,
8,
4, 5, 6, 7. It was episode 7.
Yeah.
That was too much like the first Star Wars,
Right.
and then you get something completely different with what Rian Johnson did with episode 8, and he completely blows away, does something that no other Star Wars film has done, and everyone's like, oh, well, they didn't. Luke Skywalker was this jaded old man. He wasn't this kick-ass Jedi going around and fucking people up with his lightsaber powers and blah, blah, blah. Finn didn't have the Force or blah, 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 blah. And then you get I think a good summation of the final trilogy in that last movie, and people still complain, but that's me.
I think for me, like, yeah, it was 7. Like, I thought it looked really great, and I didn't like mind it. It was just like, yeah, this is kind of like A New Hope again. Like, it's really similar. Then Rian Johnson came out, and while I wasn't like a huge fan of Last Jedi, there was one thing I really did like about it, and that was the fact that what he was trying to say, like, at the end of it, was that anybody could be a Jedi. You didn't have to be somebody in like a legit family. Like, you didn't have to be a Skywalker or a Palpatine or whatever it was. Like, you didn't have to be like this royal family. You could be anybody. That's what the kid grabbing the broomstick at the end kind of was like. To me, that was what it was implying. And then kind of like people hated that so much and hated Last Jedi so much that they went back and tried to like retcon a lot of it and went to, well, let's see if we can do a mashup of 7 and 8 where we have some new stuff, but we also have a lot of fan service. And then it kind of, to me, was like, it was just kind of like a mixed bag. So it's like, I feel like they just didn't, they were trying to please the fans too much sometimes. Like, I don't know, something. It just felt like they're like going back and forth, and like no one really knew like exactly what kind of story they wanted to tell. But they also gave a lot of leeway to the directors to kind of do their own thing.
Yeah, and I think Rian Johnson actually set J.J. Abrams up in the last movie for kind of gave him a clean slate to where you can do anything you want with this final movie now. That's just me, though.
Yeah, I didn't mind Last Jedi as much as a lot of people hated it. I didn't mind it.
Yeah, it was good. It made me cry like 3 times.
Did it? The only thing I didn't like was Princess Leia floating through space. That was the only thing. I just didn't like that image. Other than that, I was like, it's fine.
It's fine. Okay, I have some trivia. Yoda trivia. Are you ready?
All right, I'm not going to be good at this.
Who voiced Yoda?
Frank Oz.
Okay, what other character just does he voice? Not in Star Wars.
Frank Oz?
Yep. Like, big name.
Wasn't he in, like, the Muppets or whatever?
Yeah.
Like
He was the Cookie Monster and Miss Piggy.
Yeah. Oh, he was Miss Piggy, too?
Yeah.
I didn't know that. Miss Piggy kind of sounds like Yoda sometimes.
That's true, yeah, right? When you think about it, you're like, that makes sense.
Oh, Kermit!
or whatever. Like, kind of.
What kind of animal was discovered beneath the Atlantic that was named Yoda, after Yoda, in real life?
Like, not on a fake planet. I'm going to say some kind of like worm or something.
Yeah.
Was it?
Did you already know that?
I'm guessing.
Yeah, it was discovered 1.5 miles beneath the Atlantic in 2012, and it was named Yoda because it had large lips on the sides of its head, which reminded them of Yoda's ears.
I just figured it wasn't a frog in the ocean.
And they named it Yoda purpurata.
Oh, cool. Yoda purpurata.
What were Yoda's last words?
This is you, Derek.
I think Luke asked him if he was a Jedi.
Kill Vader, and a Jedi you will be.
Was it something like that?
No, it was Luke. There is another Skywalker.
Oh. There is another. Yeah, that's right.
Failed you, Yoda. I have failed.
Go take a lap and come back. Dang. Yeah, I forgot about that one, too.
Yep.
That's it?
Oh.
I've got some. Oh, do you have more trivia? Sorry.
No, go ahead. If you got some, go for it.
I've got what every Jedi said to Rey at the end of Rise of Skywalker. Yoda said,
"Alone never have you been."
And he also said,
"Rise in the Force."
So he actually said his sentence completely like anyone else would there at the end.
Rise in the Force? Or
Right in the Force, yes.
Oh, wow. That's weird. I wonder why he said
there's some sense he says that are...
Yeah, I guess it's... Yeah.
Because when I was looking up quotes, there's like long ones, and I'm like, that doesn't even sound like you.
Yeah, that makes sense. You can't say everything like that.
Exactly.
I don't know. Yeah, he's definitely got a weird like way of speaking, but it makes him unique. And, obviously we're mimicking him. And
this trivia says that there's Baby Yoda, the same species as Yoda. Baby Yoda, Mince, Oteg, Vander Takar, Yaddle, and then of course Yoda himself.
But those were probably from the extended universe, expanded universe,
Probably.
whatever it's called. I don't know. Is it extended or expanded?
I wasn't
the
laughing
same.
at that. I had Impractical Jokers on my TV, and a punishment happened, and it was just really funny.
Oh,
My
nice.
I watched that movie the other night. The one that
Is it funny? Please tell me it's funny.
It's funny-ish.
She's shaking her head.
Like, I really love Impractical Jokers, but like they tried to make it into like a storyline, and I hate the story aspect of it. But they do jokes like in between, like going along with the story, which are funny. But I hate the story so much.
Funny,
Right.
it is
It
not.
was so it was just uncomfortable. I'm like, this doesn't even seem. I hated it.
Right now, I'm watching the punishment where they put Sal in like the drunk simulation goggles, and he made him like a server at a waiter,
Oh
and he
my
can't
God.
see what he's doing. And
Oh no. I like the ones when they torture him because he's such a wuss.
that he's like out of the four, he's probably the most socially awkward one.
Mm-hmm.
And seeing him get punished, like when he had to do the wedding toast, and he's like, "Crystal is beautiful inside and out," and then he had to say, and you hear him say under his breath, "Oh my God," and he just goes, "I should know," and like the whole wedding party's like, "What the is this guy doing?"
Nice.
It's kind of like Bad Grandpa. I think it was the same thing. They had a bunch of skits, but then they also tried to put a story behind it. That was the one with Johnny Knoxville or whatever.
Oh,
I was
yeah,
like,
bad
eh.
grandpa.
Nah, not big on the story.
Yeah.
Eh.
I laughed a lot during that movie.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
Yoda.
So Yoda.
So
Yoda.
do we have a cake on this holiday? You could probably get a Yoda.
I think
head
you could get a Yoda head
shaped
cake.
Cake. Why
Cake
not?
there will be on this day.
Yeah,
same? I think so.
perfect.
I think we have a cake on this day.
I agree.
All right. You agree, Derek?
You have to have a nice green Yoda head cake.
Perfect.
All right. Well, I guess that does it for this episode, unless we have any more Yoda facts real quick.
No, I mean celebrate obviously by talking like Yoda. Watch some Star Wars.
Yeah, it's all on Disney Plus if you
Read-
got it.
Yeah, read some Star Wars books
Oh.
that include Yoda.
Yeah, yeah. Find which
Watch
ones
The
do.
Mandalorian.
Yeah, see Baby Yoda. He's
Baby.
so cute.
He's so cute.
All right. Well, Derek, thanks for joining us.
Thanks, Derek.
No problem, man. This is fun.
Yeah, we'll definitely have to have you back soon.
Soon.
All right. Well, thanks for joining, and thanks for listening, guys. We will catch you tomorrow.
Bye.
This has been a Seven Lamb production.